Family feuds can destroy reputations unless you know how to communicate. The youngest child of Singapore's founding father, Hsien, learned this the hard way. Today, I'll break down how he turned a losing battle into a winning message. What was the losing battle? In 2017, a very public dispute between Hsien, his sister Li Weiling, and their brother, then Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, captured international attention. The controversy centered on the fate of their family home at 38 Oxley Road, a matter that stirred deep emotions within Singaporeans. To understand why Lee Hsien-yang's 2017 statements did not resonate with the public, we need to first grasp what was at stake. Hsien-yang's father was Singapore's founding Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, who transformed Singapore from a struggling port city into a thriving global financial hub. Despite all his achievements, Lee Kuan Yew was against hero worship. So he wanted his house to be demolished after his death or after his daughter had moved out. But Hsien-yang's brother, then Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, did not agree. In Hsien Loong's view, while Lee Kuan Yew's private wishes should be considered, there was also considerable historical value in preserving the home. The house at 38 Oxley Road symbolized a pivotal chapter in Singapore's history. It was where Lee Kuan Yew held many groundbreaking meetings that shaped Singapore's future. The debate over its fate centers over one question: can preserving heritage be more important than respecting a founding father's wishes? Thus, it's a sensitive issue for many Singaporeans. Indeed, Lee Kuan Yew was so highly revered that most people thought that his house should be demolished, even though the whole of Singapore's current leadership disagreed. An independent survey found that 77% of Singaporeans supported the demolition of Lee Kuan Yew's house, and only 17% opposed it. As the matter could not be resolved privately, Lee Hsien publicly released bombshell allegations. He wrote a scathing 6-page letter with his sister, titled, "What Has Happened to Lee Kuan Yew's Values?" Right from the start, they attacked their brother's integrity, accusing him of misusing his position as Prime Minister. The rest of the letter focused on attacking their brother. For example, they said that he was driven by desire for power and personal popularity. Only one paragraph focused on Lee Kuan Yew's wishes for the house to be demolished. However, major opposition figures were skeptical about Hsien-yang's claims. Let's listen to then opposition leader Lau Tia Kiang.
Mr. Lee Hsien and Dr. Li Weiling should not make vague allegations in the public domains against the Prime Minister based on scattered evidence central on family displeasure. Making allegations that appear to be calculated to undermine the Prime Minister's authority does not make for constructive politics in Singapore. It is a reckless thing to do, and I do not see how this is in the national interest.
In fact, he urged Lee Hsien Loong to sue his siblings.
Own sibling cannot sue. After all, we are all brothers and sisters. But political opponents and critics sue until your pants drop. I cannot square, Madam Speaker, with all this argument. Sorry.
Another opposition leader, Tan Cheng Bock, felt that Lee Hsien was driven by a personal agenda.
As for Lee Hsien, I think Lee Hsien and I, we are good friends. If he wants to join me, he must adhere to my PSP terms, because many people would have thought that he's coming to join me because of his own personal agenda. He must make it clear what is his personal agenda and what is our PSP stand for.
Lee Hsien wrote many more strongly worded Facebook posts, accusing his brother of a cover-up, whitewashing, and lying. But each time, some of the most liked comments called on Hsien to stop. Commenters said that Hsien was turning Singapore into a laughing stock. And there was a bigger point. As Hsien focused on smaller and smaller details, the public started losing interest. He had lost the support of many of those who initially supported him. Shortly after, Hsien Yang and his sister Wei Ling stopped issuing public statements on the subject. The next public statement only occurred 7 years later, when Wei Ling died.
My father, Lee Kuan Yew, and my mother, Hua Geok-chu, unwavering and deeply felt wish was for the house at 38 Oxley Road, Singapore 238629 to be demolished upon the last parent's death. Lee Kuan Yew had directed each of his 3 children to ensure that their parents' wish for demolition be fulfilled. He had also appealed directly to the people of Singapore. Please honor my father by honoring his wish for his home to be demolished.
Hsien Yang also wrote a Facebook post that started by saying, "To honor my parents' last wishes, I am applying to demolish their house." Notice that the messages emphasize honoring Lee Kuan Yew, a figure highly respected by Singaporeans, by expressing his and his wife's explicit desire for the house to be demolished. This taps into the public's deep regard for Lee Kuan Yew and the symbolic significance of fulfilling the wishes of a founding father. And it also helps that Hsien Yang portrays himself as a filial son, as many people understand the need to maintain family honor. Finally, the request is also framed in a straightforward manner, without accusing anyone or getting into complex political disputes, making it easier for the general public to connect with. The difference between the recent statements and the previous combative statements is like night and day. It's thus no surprise that the public response has been more positive. Lee Hsien Yang's journey teaches us that in any field, whether personal or public, it's essential to step back and consider how you're communicating. Are you attacking the person, or are you standing up for something bigger than yourself? Are you bogged down by details, or are you clear about your core message? And perhaps most importantly, are you framing your argument in a way that aligns with the core values of your audience? As you navigate conflicts in your own life, these are the questions worth asking. As a reminder, I'm not commenting on whether 38 Oxley Road should be demolished or on whether either side was dishonest. My focus today is solely on the communication strategies employed by Lee Hsien Yang and the lessons we can learn from them. Thanks for watching this video.